This is a SmartWay GEM20 digital jewelry scale. I'll show you what all's included in the box here. The box itself makes for a nice little storage and travel case, secured by magnets on the lid. One thing about the box is just be careful as you're taking items in and out. The box has a soft touch on the interior insert, but it is made of a plastic, which I found when I pressed down too hard on it, putting something back in. So just be careful if you want this to hold up. I'm going to tape that back just so I can store it here, but don't press too hard on the insert. Inside the box we've got your scale, a couple of 10-gram weights, a weighing tray, and then a pair of tweezers. Now the scale itself has a nice little flip down cover to protect the top of it when you've got it out, if you need to carry it in a bag or just when it's sitting on a desk so nothing drops on this pressure plate. The pressure plate is sensitive. You don't want to put too much weight on it or it'll mess up your scale. There's 2 weights included in this for calibration. Mine had this extra little piece of foam on top. I wasn't sure what that was for, so I wrote the manufacturer. They wrote me back and just said that was extra packing. So nothing you have to do with that. You can toss it, and then this little hole that one of the weights goes in, that's mainly just for aesthetics, for carrying it around. Might have been nice to have a hole on the other side if they could have fitted in with whatever electronics are inside the body, so you can carry both weights with you since you need both for calibrating. But if you don't want to stick one in there, it doesn't do anything except hold that weight. This pressure plate is all that reads the actual measurements. So first thing we're going to do is turn this on. Now when you get this brand new out of the box from the factory, they've already calibrated it at the factory, but they recommend, really it's a necessity, that you recalibrate it once you get it. Jostling during shipping, altitude changes, just the way gravity works around the world depending on where you are, those minute changes can affect the scale since this reads down to the thousandths of a gram. So what we'll do is we let this warm up 30 to 60 seconds and then we'll calibrate it. But I'll show you the other parts first. It comes with this set of tweezers. They're branded here, TS10 anti-magnetic. There's the tips of them. Fairly fine pointed tweezers, nothing super fine, but definitely better than a pair of needle nose pliers. So got those. Then we've got our little dish that sits on top of the scale weighing plate. This dish has got a little handle for grabbing it. It's also got a very little pour spout here. So if you're measuring liquids of any kind, you can pour them into there. The handle is good because when you're weighing things, you don't want to reach in here and pick them up, because as you press down the plate, you're going to exert more pressure on the sensor and you could damage it. So whenever you pick something up, you want to either use the tweezers if you can, if it's sitting low in the plate, or use this little handle and just pick it up and take it back out from there. So we've got ours set up now. It's warmed up. I'm going to go into the calibration mode. You turn it on and then you hold down the on button until it shows cal. And then once it shows that, you press the on button again and it will flash 10. At that point we're going to put a 10-gram weight on the scale. After a moment it'll flash 20 when it's ready for the other weight. You do have to balance these kind of carefully. Get 20 and then it'll tell us whether or not we passed the calibration. So there we go, we passed. It's put me at 20 grams and 1/1000th of a gram. So when we take these off, it should read right back at 0, which it does. Now that's calibrated, we'll stick a couple of different small items in here just to show you as it's weighing it. We've got a very tiny little 2 gig micro SD card. Apparently that card weighs 0.267 grams or so. Sometimes it takes a minute to settle down, but here it's settled down to 0.269. So we'll put the second one in, and there we've got 0.526. So a little bit of difference between the two of them. I do not have the steadiest hands in the world. Now I'll show you here if you want to get this down to 0 again after you put something in. If you're looking for net weights between them, you can hit this tare button and it'll put you back at 0 grams, and you can find the net weight of each item as you put it in. And then after you've put each item in, if you want to know the total weight, hit tare again so it shows 0, and then we'll take both of them out and leave just the dish back on top. Now 0.527, 526. And that's the total weight of it, although it's expressing as a negative number now because we took it off the scale. Now this scale measures down to 1/1000th of a gram. It's a very minute unit of measurement. I'm going to put some small folded up pieces of paper here. It'll take a couple of seconds sometime to pick up the measurement after you put it in. And then it's good to let the measurement level out. If you have any air current flowing through the room, I haven't had it affect my scale yet, but with this being such a small precision unit, it might be a good idea to turn that off if you're noticing any fluctuations that seem abnormal as you're going to measure things, just in case the airflow is putting any extra pressure on the pressure plate. So now not only do we have grams, but there are several other modes. We can also measure in ounces. That's 8/10,000ths of an ounce. Measure in grains. DWT, that's penny weight. CT, that's carats. And then you've got OZT, that's for measuring in troy ounces. And that puts us back to grams. So I'm going to take this back off, and I'll show you one more feature with this unit. We've already gone over tare mode and the on button, how the on is used for calibrating. Turn the unit off, simply just hit the off button. There is a sleep timer on the unit. I don't recall how long it takes to turn off, but it will turn off automatically after a certain amount of time. Now the batteries are easily accessible. Just 2 AAA batteries. It ships with these batteries already in. You just pull a little plastic tab out so they can make the connection, and then you'll be good to go. Don't forget when you first turn it on to let it warm up for 30 to 60 seconds before you do your initial calibration. And one thing about calibrating this scale, this is a value price scale, so you're going to have to expect a little bit of variation in the tolerances. Now, you calibrate it with these 2 10-gram weights. Obviously, we don't have any way to verify each of these weights is 10 grams, but after calibration, you may notice that this weight shows as 10.001 grams. This weight actually shows as 10.007 grams. Now we calibrated this a moment ago and it calibrated right at 20.000 grams. Now it's showing 20.001. Now obviously, whoops, dropped that a bit hard. Obviously 1 plus 5 or 7 as it was showing before. Now it's showing 0.005. Sometimes you have to get it just lined up perfectly in the middle to get the reading to level out. But obviously those two together don't equal 0.001. Overall, I'm very happy with the scale for the tolerances it works within and the price point that the scale comes in at. It'll be a very handy device for anybody who has a jewelry hobby or any type of hobby where they need to measure very small weights and differences between things. So that is your review of the SmartWeigh GEM20 digital scale.